Welcome to the Winding Road podcast. Man, just sitting here like, dang it, I don't have my little nicotine pouches. I'm like, gosh, dang it. And then I just think about, everything that I've been able to overcome is great, but I'm still struggle with stuff. And it's like, I don't know. Ultimately, I'm on here trying to figure out how to help you guys, if you're going through that. And again, it's it is by inputting all the other stuff, but then it's just there has to be this greater realization of it's just my body. That's just my body telling me that I need something, but I know that I'm much more than my body. It's three things, right? Mind, body, spirit. Mind, body, soul, whatnot. All the good jazz, all the cliches on that. I'm just not one to be cliche-y, but it's just that realization. It's then the body will crave something. The body is going to crave it. But I know if I'm putting my spirit over my flesh, then I will be able to get past that. There is times where you are going to have to. It's a constant reminder of telling you yourself, though, that whenever you go through urges of wanting stuff that's not necessarily maybe good for you, it is that constant reminder of knowing that you're more than your body, that there's a spirit, a soul inside of you, but that, we do want to do everything we can to be here for as long as we can, so that we can learn in this earth school, as they say, so that we can learn whatever it is we need to learn here. And we want to try to live as long as they can. So, but that's a body thing. That's focused on the body. So we're not doing it. We're not quitting this nicotine. Well, I got to quit this so I can live a while. I don't want to die young. Better quit smoking. Yes, of course it's about the body, but it's not about just so you can prolong this life and be here as long as you can in this body. It's about figuring out that I need to do that for my body so that my soul can thrive in this form. I need to do this in my body, quit this stuff, so that my soul can thrive. It's just my body craving it. There's so much more. I'm like, well, okay. So just keep that in mind every time you get a craving, every time. It's just my body wanting this. I'm more than my body. I am a soul, my soul. Listen to your soul. Find that inner voice in there, however hard it is to find, but don't say it's hard. Say it's easy. So that even if it is hard, it will be easier. You'll make it a little bit easier. Oh, somebody got something out of that. Let's transition. And if we are doing everything we can to be here as long as we can, so that we can learn things, so that we can learn how to love better. Again, this is just a little glimpse. I really believe that as much love as we could possibly pour out here is a little glimpse, but why are we trying to do that? Why are we trying to gain the frequencies? I like talking like this, so I'm a spiritual leader. And I can tell you about the frequencies and the energies. Oh, yeah. Just being silly. But shit's fucking real, man. Shit's fucking real. Energies, frequencies, all that stuff. Yeah. So what are we doing if we're trying to get to those higher vibrations, as they say? Why? If we're doing that to get that to the next life, if we are quote unquote in an earth school here for this blip, this microcosm second of the cosmos that we're here. If we're here to learn something, I am curious. Why are we learning it? What's the purpose of learning it? What does it mean in the spiritual realm? there's, Bible says the battle's not against flesh and blood, but it's between the rulers and authority in the heavenly realms, in the spiritual world. So, something else going on bigger here. So it's kind of like this is basic training, perhaps, maybe, possibly. I mean, I know that's gonna be contradictory. I can't talk. Contradictory to what the Bible might say about going to heaven and living in eternal bliss, but possibly for some of us. But what if I hate saying he, I hate saying he, don't say he, I don't like to hate, I don't hate, I love, 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 love. What if God, the cosmos, the universe, the light, the more, does need warriors up in that heavenly spiritual realm, in the spiritual realm? Oh, we got an oversized load on the truck on the winding road. What if that's needed? What if that's why we're learning this stuff? Otherwise it's just a game. It's just a game, and it's like, cool, man, I'm gonna send you down here with free will. If you do good, accept Jesus, do this stuff, you get to go to heaven. If not, you get to go to hell. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. There's just so much more beyond comprehension that we can even fully understand. And I do think that, the Bible, other things the Bible for sure, that said it was inspired by the words of God. But that's man, that's still man. God could have told them, but that's still a man interpreting what God told them with the brain that they have. Yes, inspired by God. Yes, we listen to that, but it's still hard to discern because we are in this physical body. So we listen. We're not in that spiritual world though. So whatever God tells us, it might be tough for us to get it out, to parlay it in the correct way, and that's why the Bible's like the great mystery. And I'm not trying to debate religion and anything really. I'm just talking, theorizing, as they say. The great scholars like to theorize. But it's interesting. It's interesting for sure. Think about it. Some people think about that from a school and well, what's the point of learning it all? Well, I just threw out a couple theories for you. It is eclipse weekend on the winding road podcast. I know you guys probably think I'm crazy. I don't really care. I really don't. I know I'm completely sane, and my creativity is amazing. And I watched a Bray Wyatt documentary last night, wrestler, William Rotunda. If you don't know who that is, I'm a big pro wrestling fan. Pretty incredible just how creative he was and the way his mind, and I like watching these different people that have a creative mind, and just being inspired by them, and then thinking about how I'm like them in certain ways and different things, and I see comparisons between me and them, and I don't even know why I just said that about him, but it's just an amazing thing. I don't know if I said this on the Winding Road podcast the other day, but speaking about another wrestler, and we're bouncing around, bouncy all over the place here. It's fun, isn't it, guys? Ride the waves. Whee! He said, I would rather starve on... start over. Back up. Let me start over. I would rather choke on greatness than starve on mediocrity. CM Punk said that the other day. I would rather choke on greatness. I'm going to get around this oversized load on the winding road. Would rather choke on greatness than starve on mediocrity. Let's examine that. What does that mean? That means everything I always talk about on here. Everything about going for it, about not being afraid to fail. Yeah. If you go for it, you're going for greatness, just like he did in the UFC. He got his ass beat. But he went for it. He went for it. A lot of people don't go for it. So would you rather choke on greatness? Maybe you don't choke. Maybe you were able to chew that bitch up, swallow it down, and shit it out 3 days later and say, look at my beautiful turd. But you know what I'm saying? You might not, but I don't want to choke, period. But you get the point in what he's saying. Sometimes you are. You're not always going to, if you go for it, you're not always going to have, everything's not going to be perfect and everything's not going to be, so lessons we have to learn by making mistakes. It just happens. It happens, and we can't worry about our mistakes. Just got to move on, learn from them. Learn from them bitches. But yeah, if you're going to starve on mediocrity, meaning you're just going humming along, all right, cool. I'm going to do this today, but I have all these 10, 20 ideals in my head, but they've been in my head for 5, 10, and I'm guilty of all these things. But I'm trying not to be. In my head, 5, 10 years, in my head, guilty. Not doing them. Because we're just living on mediocrity. We're just living on mediocrity because it's just so hard for us to see the finiteness, finite, had it right the first time. The finiteness of this whole damn thing. And we just take it for granted. How many people actually wake up and say, thank you, God, thank you, whatever. I'm here another day. I hear my dad talk about it all the time, every morning. First thing he says, thank you, God, for another day. And I'm trying to learn that and get better about doing that. I am. And just, man, God bless. Reading the Bible, it's crazy. It's crazy how more and more, science, the Bible, that stuff, to me, it just comes together. And I know I'm probably going to turn off a lot of people by saying that. If you don't believe, it's okay. I was thinking about the other day, on that same interview, CM Punk talked about, he did say he was an atheist. And, if we're believers in something and then somebody says that, it would be very easy, and it happens so many times, just like, oh gosh, this guy is an idiot. No, it's just, that's what he believes, man. And I didn't think any less or any more of him just because he said that. I was still very inspired by a lot of the other words that he was saying that night, or that on that interview on the MMA show with Ari something, great interview. But yeah, we easily could take that, but instead of taking it personally, or instead of judging and condemning him and saying you're an idiot for thinking that nothing's going to happen after you die, to me, I'm like, I wonder why he thinks that way. I wonder why do atheists think that nothing exists, And then I'm thinking about, I do try to flip the coin. And I'm still, but now I can explore these other sides and still have 100% faith. And it's crazy to be able to do that now. Crazy. Because before I would try to explore these other sides and then I would be wondering if that's the right side or the wrong side. I don't do that anymore, but I just try to put myself in other people's shoes. I'm like, all right, cool. I understand you. I understand. I get that. Here's what I believe. And hopefully if they're willing to listen, they're going to listen. If they're not, cool. Move on. Who cares? Is what it is. But shit, where was I? But I was thinking about the near-death experiences, and it's okay, all these people say all that stuff. And it's all right, but what, I wonder if an atheist thinks that so we don't use obviously a whole shitload of our brain. I wonder if they just think that those experiences are us being so unconscious and so close to death that then that portal's probably not the best word if I'm talking from an atheist standpoint, but I wonder if they think that it's just the rest of your brain somehow opening up. I wonder if that's what they think, and if they think that that's all that is. But to me, that would be another sign that there is something else going to happen. It's like, why not? Why hasn't this brain been opened up before? Why was it so closed before? And why now in a near-death experience is someone's brain opening up and they're able to see back in all those different places? Maybe it's because they aren't conscious, and and the rest of their shit's shutting down. So if they're not focused on the rest of the shit, then maybe they're able to get back in that deeper states, like because they're unconscious on life support or whatever it is that's happening so far back in the brain, that they're so far back in there. But here's why I don't believe that. If I'm taking people's words at face value, and it's like, why would so many people lie? Brothers tell me about a study, like all these people that have to go through this paperwork after paperwork of filling out form after form after form after form to be able to get into some guy's study about those near-death experiences, into those studies. Like, why would they lie? So if I'm taking what they said at face value, it's just the craziness of whenever they talk about how I saw you in the waiting room. You were wearing this. You were wearing that. And they maybe hadn't seen that person in weeks, in months. Another person, near and dear. Well, I'll just say it. Close to me. My mom was telling me a story about, I hope she's okay with me sharing this. If not, well, shoot. Whenever my grandpa was dying, my mom was on her way to see him, but she didn't get there in time. But my grandma later tells my mom the story that as she's sitting there holding my grandpa's hand, my grandpa says, I can see Opa. That was my mom's nickname. I can see her. She's coming. Like, see her driving. He could see her driving to the hospital. And mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing to me. Unbelievable. Crazy. But it is believable because I believe in the more. And I think I'm going to stop off. Get me a little marijuana on the winding road. But we're not doing it. Don't do it on the winding road. I do not. I'm sober and alert on the drive. Big believer in that. Ah, shit. I got so much more to say, though, before that. And just in case you're wondering. I'm like, man, I don't know. I really can't smoke too much of the pot. I really can't. I don't know. I love being sober and alert just because I think pretty deeply about stuff just to begin with. So, yeah, that's just how I rock. And so yeah, man, one hit and I'm good. Usually I'm good. I don't need much more than that. Shoot. I don't even know if I have any cash. I do not. Turns out we will not be getting that, and we will just continue to mooch off other people. That's probably the best thing, because whenever I do go buy it, I tend to do it a little too much. And like I said, I really don't do it at all, really. Like, I just out in nature, I like to do it just to get that, enhance it. Just like one little, two little. For whatever reason, nature, when I'm playing disc golf, I can do it and not really be bothered by it. I zone in on disc golf, and then, but I'm also yet appreciating the nature just a little bit more. Just makes everything a little bit brighter, gives everything a little more sense of detail, and everything a little more sense of purpose, and makes things stand out more. Like, that's why I do it. Like, yeah, you get a little too much going, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of like, well, what's going on here? But I really do think like states like that, like states like mushrooms and other things are kind of these precursors and give us an indication of what that transition from this body to the spiritual world is going to look like. I don't think those things were put here by accident. I don't. We people abuse things, and everything can be abused, but that stuff's not addicting. But everything, but I don't know. I think it's a tool. I think it's medicine. I really do. It's all right. It's all good. Get on here and you disagree with me. That's super great. God bless you. That's all right. I'm interested. I'm interested talking to anybody from any background about anything, really. you know? And like I said, it does go back to like the, you know, as long as you treat me with respect, then I'm going to treat you with respect and have an open mind. And if not, I'm just going to say, God bless you. Have a good day. Like, that's the type of mindset I want to have. And I do have a lot of the time, and I'm still not perfect about it. Oh, and one more crazy near-death experience my brother was telling me about. Then I'm going to tell you a little eclipse story. We're really running out of time here, though, because my phone is about out of gigabytes. I need to clear up some space. Another one is dudes in a car crash, 2 of them. The one friend said he saw, and I got to go look this up for myself because my brother only told me a little few details of it. He said he saw one of the friends saw the other friend, like as they're in this in-between state of this body and the spiritual world, this physical and the spiritual world, the one friend saw the other friend go down whatever it was, a tunnel. I like to talk about tunnels and dreams a lot, so maybe it's like a tunnel, whatever it was, towards the light. He saw him go into that, then he came back to this life, and like, that's just crazy, man. This shit's crazy. And just watching all this and everything, like, fear is just, you know, is gone. Like the earthly, the body fear, you know, just, I'm good on it. I'm good on it, man. I'm still human. I'm still going to F up and have fear at times. It still happens. I feel it creeping, you know, usually on a daily basis. I'm like, shoo. I know that's not real. I know it's something in here, in this form, that tells me I need to be afraid, but no, sir. No, sir. That's not how this shit is done. Not how I'm doing this shit. 40 years almost to figure some of this out, but the last 2-3 years have just been crazy enlightening, and it is wondering that, you know, are we, like, with all these things that are, you know, like, and we didn't hear about those near-death experiences and all that stuff. Is it just technology, or is it because this is like an awakening period and all this stuff, this crazy stuff starting to happen, man? And you know, you think about our bodies getting sick. What do? We heat our bodies up, try to get the mucus out. We think about the earth now, and you know, and a lot of it's our cause, what we've done, but a lot of it just happens naturally. The earth is sick. The earth is sick, so heating up, like, all this bad stuff's going to happen, like, with the earth and what goes on. It's just like our bodies. It goes back to that microcosm. Earth heats up, starts, you know, then we shoot out snot and shoot out our stuff. Well, what's the earth doing? Shoots out volcanoes, all this crazy weather shit that's going on. Microcosm, man. We're microcosms for that. And it's just so crazy. And we are, there's two people, there's 2 things going on right now. Like, there's the in-between. You know, the people in the middle are becoming less and less. It's like people are running towards this physical, where they're just concerned about what's happening in the body, or people are running towards this spiritual enlightenment. And I do think that we are in this crazy time period right now. Really do. And speaking of crazy stuff, we got the eclipse as of this recording. God only knows when you will see this recording, but as of this recording, and I will let you know how it turns out, but the eclipse is coming up, and the one in 2017. Everywhere else near you got to see the totality. There's one little tiny little cloud that came over, so I missed it. So I'm really hoping that I'll get to see it in its full glory this time. Is it meant to be, or it's not meant to be? If it's not meant to be, I think the next one's in Brazil in 2028, so I might go check that out. You know, it's just like, it's interesting. Like, I'm aware of all this other greater stuff, but yet here, guys, in the eternal now, there's just amazing magical stuff that happens every day. From the eclipse to, you know, just any little small thing that's love. We make it, and we can turn it into something so much more greater. So the eclipse should be popping. Hopefully it's not cloudy, but if it is, it is. But I really want to see it because I missed it last time, and you can feel in the area now. Like, yeah, people are starting to roll in. Like, there's that palpable energy. There's that palpable energy going on right now, and you can feel it. If people believe in that, like, why don't they believe in the other stuff? Energy, it's all freaking real, man. It's so crazy. But I'm so focused on the now. Even though I'm thinking about all this crazy stuff, I'm so focused on the now, and I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life, and I'm living my most happy life because I got that inner peace in me, man. I found that inner peace, and I hope you guys can find it too. Not, we're going to cycle back around. This whole time thing might be an illusion. We're a big circle. It's hard for us to see, hard for us to understand as humans, going from start to end in the body form. It's hard for us to understand, but like we get outside of time, I think we'll realize it then. But me, like, I'm grateful, I'm thankful of even being in this body and realizing that that's a possibility. I'm grateful for that. And I'm so grateful that I can see all that, but yet still so be focused on the now and what I'm trying to accomplish and the tasks at hand, for so that we can reach the goals. God bless you all. This has been a fun one, a crazy one, and I don't give a shit what anybody thinks, because I know that I'm loving, I'm inspiring, and I'm uniting. I'm me, you're you, we are each other. God bless.